start.
Welcome into Gaithersburg in a matchup of the Giants and the DC Grays. While this game is at Criswell Automotive Field, it counts as an away game for Gaithersburg due to weather conditions at the Grays Field. I'm Collin Smith, joined alongside Jake Tseronis for tonight's broadcast. Sorry that we missed the first couple pitches, as we were having some technical difficulties, but we are back. It's Brady Powell that is in the batter's box for Gaithersburg. He finds himself in a 1-1 count. Watches for ball two now. Nate Houghton-Henley was the first out of the inning for Gaithersburg. Again, it's the top of the first, but Gaithersburg is the one batting. Swing and a miss there from Brady Powell. He'll step outside of the batter's box to gather himself. On the mound for the Grays is Jamie Whittier, an incoming freshman at Wofford, and he catches Powell swinging and missing for the punch-out. Powell will head back to his dugout empty-handed. Speaking of empty hands, it's the gloveless wonder, Danny Orr, that will walk into the batter's box. Orr gets set. He's dealing with two outs. He's the third guy tonight. He's in left field positionally. Swing, puts a good crack at this one. Backpedaling is Wiltsey in center field. That hits the back wall. Orr's going to round to two, and he gets there in time. Wiltsey could not find it off the back wall immediately, and just like that, Danny Orr is on second base.
Yeah, here at Criswell Automated Field. Center field is about 350 feet. That one went 347. So 3 more feet away from his fourth home run of the season. He already leads the team with 3. Didn't even get time to properly introduce him and how much of an asset he's been at the plate for the Giants.
Well, Danny Orr, the leader in at-bats this season and hits for Gaithersburg, gets himself extra bases with 2 outs. Andrew Holub looks to bring him home. He watches ball 1. Andrew Holub was at Iowa last year, is headed to Charleston to CCSC Upstate for community college, going to do a year at JUCO. As he looks to get his college career back on track. He was a Gaithersburg product last year and is back this summer. Swinging there on the outside of the zone. That's strike 1.
Yeah, Holland batting .350 on the season. He's got a .475 slugging percentage. Got 13 RBIs, looking for his 14th here. Only 4 strikeouts on the season, by far the lowest on the Giants.
Gets this one. Will it find the gap? Running under it is Riviera. He dives and he makes the catch. That is Andy Rivera. One of 2 Riveras in the Grays lineup makes the diving catch. And just like that, the Grays head back to their dugout and will be up to bat at the bottom of the inning, despite this one being in Gaithersburg. Stay tuned with us. I'm Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. We got plenty. We're back here in Gaithersburg. Sean McCabe's taking the mound for your Giants. It's the bottom of the first inning. First up to bat for the Grays will be Joey Chitla. He's out at shortstop tonight, incoming freshman at Wofford.
Yeah, for the Giants, McCabe on the mound. McCabe's got a 5.55 ERA, 11 1/3 innings pitched, 15 strikes, only 10 walks. Pretty good season for the Charleston freshman.
The incoming Cougar delivers ball 1. Chitla gets his bat behind this one, right to the glove of Maxey. He crosses it to Rudisil, and that's the first out of this half inning.
Yeah, nice play from Maxey there. Maxey, a guy who's struggled at the plate all season, has been a defensive unit for the Giants at third base. He's made a handful of plays out there, a handful of tough ones as well.
That play was made in kind of the middle of the infield. He's played a lot of shortstop this season before bumping over to third after Cade Hentz has joined the team. Maxey delivers, sorry, not Maxey, McCabe. I'm getting my M names mixed up. Jake, he delivers ball 1. There's ball 2 from McCabe. It's Tyler Wiltsey at the plate. He's the one that had to retrieve that Danny Orr hit off the back wall. Finds his bat behind this one. It curves around third base and is into the back of the outfield. That's going to be fielded by Orr, but not before Wiltsey gets to second base. So Wiltsey and Orr trading back-to-back doubles hit at each other, Jake.
Yeah, Wiltsey there. He's batting 300 on the season. Got a 500 slugging. So, that was a nice piece of hitting there. Definitely came off the bat hot. However, definitely a big hitter there, starting off hot with a double.
Well, Tanner Wolpert's going to step into the bat. He's only working with 1 out, and he's got a guy in scoring position.
Tanner Wolpert, the only guy on this Braves team with a single, double, triple, and home run. Interesting stat I saw there.
So a season cycle for him as he watches ball 1. Does the season cycle go in the record books, Jake? I'm not really sure.
He can go in his personal record books. He's done it in only 25 at-bats, so pretty astounding stuff.
This looked like a broken bat there. He sends that into the center field. Nate Houghton-Henley catches it off 1 bounce. Wiltsey heads to third, and the corners are filled.
Yeah, unfortunate for Wolport there, as well as the Giants. Of course, it's a base knock, but a broken bat, not what you want to see.
Well, I believe Nate Houghton-Henley thought he had, I think with the right speed and no broken bat, that's right to Houghton-Henley, but the crack of the bat takes a bit of power off and it drops right in front of the future Terrapin's feet.
Yeah, I can only imagine how hard it is to judge those broken bat hits as well. It just seems to die.
And right there, McCabe delivered a pitch. It looked like Andy Rivera had his hands moving. Maybe that clipped his bat. It looked like it might have hit him, Jake. Wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think it hit the knob of his bat. Umpire seemed pretty sure of it. Didn't see any movement from Rivera. Any signs of pain. So just unlucky.
So he loads with the 1-0 count. Gets a second foul there.
Wolpert seemed to be moving towards second on that, trying to steal. Saw Zach White throw out 2 guys only 2 nights ago against the Thunderbolts. Today we got McNally behind the plate.
McCabe sets. He's got an 0-2. He tries to pick off attempt on Wolpert. They say he got back in time. Wolpert, a first baseman himself, knows that area of the field well. Now McCabe delivers the third pitch. That's 2 outside of the zone. Didn't clip our TrackMan, so good eye from the ump. It's now a 1-2 count. Again, the corners are filled. It's Wolpert on first, Wiltsey on third. McCabe delivers now. That's off the bat. Diving catch made by Maxey. He's going to have a play at first. Is it there in time? It goes past Bryce Rudisil. So runners will advance. It's Wiltsey to third, but not before. Sorry, Wiltsey crossed home. Wolpert to third. And Rivera finds himself on first base. So the Grays are the first ones to strike in the game.
Yeah, tough play from Maxey there. Great to keep it in the infield. However, he put everything into that throw to try to get the out at first base. Unfortunately, all that power allowed it to be off target. Russell tried to come off the bag and keep it in front of him and was not able to.
Well, there's strike one against Joe Marini.
And Marini is batting 0 on the season. Only 2 plate appearances, 0-2 in both.
Marini in left field tonight, looking to change that here. And it's a stolen base by Andy Rivera. Ethan McNally didn't get the right pop, decided not to attempt a throw out.
Yeah, it looked like McNally felt like he lost it on the transfer. He didn't. However, it looked like he was going to attempt a throw down with a runner on third.
There's a swing and a miss from Marini. That puts him in the 1-2 count. He does have 2 runners in scoring position. 1 run is already scored. It was Wiltsey who crossed the plate for the Grays.
McCabe still looking for his first punch out of the day.
McCabe checks back on second base. Swing and a miss there from Marini. He is retired to his own dugout. There's the first punch out of McCabe's outing tonight.
Yeah, 16th on the season. Still has not given up a walk. However, 3 hits, one of them bringing in the first run of this game.
And now in the batter's box, it's Ryan Sung. He's playing third base tonight for the DC Grays. He watches strike one. Last time Ryan Sung was in Gaithersburg was that double header. Gaithersburg came away with the second leg of it, but I just remember Sung being all over the base path. He made some really impressive diving catches as well. Was really a force for DC. Sung watches ball one. It's a 1-1 count, 2 outs to work with. He's got guys in scoring position. Wolpert on third. Rivera out on second. Rivera got there from a steal. This one comes back to the zone for McCabe. It's a 1-2 count. 2 outs. He's trying to get out of this inning with only letting up 1 run. Good fight from Sung. That was outside the zone, so he chased that one from McCabe. Remains a 1-2.
Song, he's got a .319 batting average, .463 on base percentage, so definitely a guy who knows how to fight in the box.
McCabe sets now, delivers. Song gets his bat behind this one. It's right back to McCabe. He's going to have a throw to first, and it's handled by Rudisil to end the inning. 1 run scored for the DC Grays. They're the home team. Even though this game's out in Montgomery County, the Giants will be up to bat next in the top of the second.
right, you ready?
Yep. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. DC Grays found a run in the first inning. Now the Giants step to bat. It's Bryce Rudisil, the first baseman. He chops that one foul. Goes to readjust his batting gear. Rudisil has been a steady first baseman all year for Gaithersburg. Still on the mound is Jamie Whittier, the incoming freshman at Wofford for the Grays. Another foul off from Rudisil. This one to the opposite side. He gets into an early 0-2. First batter of the inning.
Rudisil, you mentioned his play at first base. He's kind of turned his hitting around at the tail end of this season.
Good eye from Rudisil to watch. Ball one.
Whittier also looking for his first punch-out still.
Whittier put that one in the zone. Rudisil got his bat behind it. It was directly to Noel Rivera. He makes the routine throw to Wolpert in time. First out. Now, the man behind the plate will step to the batter's box. Ethan McNally is up for the Gaithersburg Giants.
Now McNally, another very persistent hitter. He's batting .344, only 8 strikeouts on the season.
He watches strike one. Whittier delivers. McNally puts that one into the backstop. Shakes our camera just a little bit. I'm glad it stayed up, Jake. You and I spent a little bit of time setting that one up.
Yeah, Collin was working really hard to keep that one still. Glad to see it working.
Hopefully we got enough zip ties on there that we don't have to adjust mid-inning. McNally got the hands moving. Smart to not bring them through. That's ball one.
That's a good pitch from Whittier there. I honestly thought McNally was going to go down and looking, gets an extra life.
It just barely tagged the TrackMan zone, so 50-50 on the call. This one's far off of the plate. 2-2 is the count. Whittier delivers now. And that's a strike. Tons of movement on that pitch. That started almost all the way outside of McNally in the batter's box and came across to just tag the zone on the inside, and McNally goes down looking.
Yeah, recently we've seen a lot of off-speed heavy pitchers from the Giants and their opponents. Don't know if that's a tactic to, keep your faster guys or your, higher guys in the lineup, keep their pitching innings, their pitch counts low, but we've seen a lot of that low 70s to high 80s range for pitchers recently, and we see a successful one there.
Now it's Cade Hentz into the box, shortstop out of Jacksonville, joined the team in July. He gets it off that. It is misfielded by Sung, and he dropped it just right there in the infield, leaves it there because no further advancement from Cade Hentz.
And Cade Hentz, of course, baseball coaches preach, put the ball in play and good things will happen. He's reached on air 3 times in the last 3 games. He had 2 against the South County Braves a couple nights ago and gets another one here.
Just something about balls coming off the bat of Cade Hentz. They're hard to field. In the box now is Ryan Maxey. We talked about his defensive work in the last time up. Now he prepares. He's in an 0-1. He's dealing with 2 outs with a runner on first. Watches that one offside. Whittier sets. Delivers this one. Maxey got a piece of it. Drops in the dirt before going anywhere. Foul ball, so 1-2 count. And Aiden Ellis, the catcher for DC, wearing all his red gear as he's headed to Rutgers next year, goes out and retrieves it. should say Scarlet, since they're the Scarlet Knights up in New Jersey. Taking off his hence. This one just curves foul off the bat of Maxey. It was going, and before it got anywhere, it was gone into foul territory. Count remains 1-2. This one, just like the last put-away pitch, finds the zone late. Again, in the 70s, Jake. What a put-away pitch from Jamie Whittier.
Yeah, Whittier, you saw that movement you talked about in his last punch-out pitch against McNally. Leaves Maxey looking again. A lot of movement, especially with his arm, with his release. You know, where his arm is when he releases the ball. More of a side-arm pitch. Definitely tough for batters to be able to see that one fully into the zone.
And just like that, we're going to step away as the Giants prepare for the defensive side. It's the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Stay tuned. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. Jake, did you ever think that you would see the Giants wearing their away uniforms and playing the top of the inning batting in Gaithersburg?
No, I mean, I'm telling you, when we got our text from, General Manager Matthew Kangas, and so we were playing at home, I wasn't too mad about it, to be honest with you. We were about to take a little away trip to D.C., then get told a couple hours earlier we're staying home. Of course, you don't get, the Gaithersburg Giants don't get the pleasure of batting second. However, closer drive for most people, including us. So not too mad about it.
Yeah, I'm sure my commute home is going to be much easier than it would have been. This is off the bat of Noel Rivera. He sends it deep left field. It's mishandled by Orr. Rivera heads two. He's going to hold up there. And Orr was running under it. We have a bit of an obstructed view of left field. He couldn't find it in time. He was running backwards, so Rivera gets himself out on second base.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. It's a great effort from Orr. I mean, I think his glove might have even touched it. However, it was backhand. The dive would have been very awkward in that situation. And he was under the ball when it was hit. That ball very high. Didn't roll far from Orr. And, good from Orr to be able to keep Rivera on second base.
He was able to pop up. That one went 284.5. So definitely that awkward distance for those outfielders. Not quite the back fence. Not quite close enough to be fielded by the infield. 1-0's the count. It's Mark Corey. He's designated hitting tonight for the Grays. He sends this one a high foul ball. Went over the net. Sorry, no, it didn't. Dropped just at the last second. We have some really tall nets here at Crystal Automotive Field. Luckily, that one stays, and manager TJ Brockway goes to pick it up. Definitely saving every baseball you possibly can here. Corey watches that strike. It's a 1-2 count. He's not the happiest with it. I won't say where it looked on our TrackMan Jake, but as the ump calls it, it's 1-2, no outs. Noel Rivera's the one on second.
Corey looking for his 10th RBI of the season, in some trouble.
Rivera takes off. McNally's going to attempt a throw down. Doesn't get there in time. In fact, it's Maxey who needs to do a little bit of work to make sure it doesn't go any further.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough on catchers when you got a swinging strike three and you see that guy running, especially on second base. You have to make sure you get the ball before you're thinking about going over to third, and it was still a good effort from McNally.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, that was strike three on Corey, so he heads back to the dugout, but not without Rivera getting to second. Aiden Ellis, the catcher, I talked about him. He's an incoming freshman at Rutgers.
Ellis, he is 1 for 18 on the season, a batting average of .056. Good for his first RBI on the season.
Well, he watches his first strike there. It's a 1-1 count.
Collin, something we talked about before the game is just the amount of freshmen on this Grays team, the amount of freshmen playing as well. Not a sight we usually see in the Cal Ripken League.
No, we're writing our lineups. Ellis fouls that one off. It was a lot of guys, they're younger than you and I. We're both incoming sophomores, as it will be this fall. So definitely a young team for DC, especially if they could keep that together for 1 to 2 seasons, could really look to do damage. This one's off Ellis's bat. Orr's running under it. He's not going to get there in time. The blooper to left field is going to bring Rivera home. Noel Rivera crosses the plate to make this game 2-0.
So Ellis gets his second hit, his first RBI on the season. You know, that one just right over Maxey's head in that no man's land. So unfortunate for the Giants and the second run for the Grays.
So there's still only one out. The DC Grays have gotten back to the top of the order. Joey Chitla is up to bat. Watches that ball.
Chitla, another guy on this Grays roster with a high on-base percentage. He's .426 on the season, only batting .268, however.
McCabe sets. Delivers his first strike of the at-bat. 1-1 is the count. He's got Ellis out on first. McCabe elects not to check him. Delivers. Swing and a miss from Joey Chitla. An attempted throw out on Ellis. He had not gotten back in time. McNally decided to test it with Rudisill. Gaithersburg dugout seemed to think that was an out, Jake.
I mean, I thought it was an out too. I thought Ellis was a little bit in no man's land himself, just like his hit. However, umpire disagrees.
Attempt again. Now he's going to find himself in a pickle. Will Gaithersburg cover it in time? And indeed, they do. Ellis is headed back to his dugout after the attempted pickoff on Rudisill. Hence got to the second base in time. That was an interesting move from Ellis after the attempted pickoff almost got him. Almost a ball don't lie moment from McCabe and co.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a swing and a miss from Joey Chitla, and that will retire the side. And just like that, Gaithersburg gets out of that inning kind of an unorthodox way, Jake.
Yeah, I was just going to mention before that strike three, we were just kind of, almost praising or highlighting the amount of young talent on this team. And there you see a rookie mistake. You get a throw down from the catcher, the pitch before. You think you're going to be on your toes. However, the pitch later, McCabe delivers a nice pickoff move to first base, gets the second out of the inning, and a pitch later, the Giants are going to hit. So definitely a quick inning for the Grays that was showing some promise, but the Giants recover quickly.
I saw after the pickoff attempt, Ellis kind of threw his hands up, and I guess that was his coach telling him to steal now. And I guess maybe he felt a little bit confused during it.
Yeah, I don't know. But, at the end of the day, it's just a good read from McCabe, good move. And, especially after giving up a run and you have a runner on with one out, just that, if you're recovering within 2 pitches, I'd say it's a pretty solid inning.
Certainly a great recovery by McCabe. Gaithersburg hopes to recover with their bats when we come back. We're back here in Gaithersburg. The Giants find themselves down 2-0 as we start the top of the third inning. Brady Ruiz-Weiss, the right fielder out of Yale, will be the first one up for the Giants. And that one is inside. It almost clipped Ruiz-Weiss. He almost had to just back out of that at the last second.
Yeah, the sidearm release is just so tough. They have so much room to go side to side. It almost goes.
Ruiz-Weiss gets his bat behind this one. It's fielded by Noel Rivera, flips it over to Woolpert, and there is the first out.
You know, I was just talking, of course, about his pitch, you know, the release angle of Whittier and how it allows him to go across there, and speedy Ruiz Weiss not able to beat out the ground ball.
And just like that, Nate Houghton Henley, the center fielder, heads to the plate. Houghton Henley and Ruiz Weiss, high school teammates at St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C. Swing and a miss there from Houghton Henley, the future Terrapin.
You know, we see more of that low 70 off speed, sending batters swinging. So working on both sides.
Henley watches the inside ball there. You're talking about Whittier's movement with his side to side with his low release and his sidearm pitch. It's really impressive to see how he's painted the zone all night. Again, inside, good eye from Houghton Henley.
Yeah, I mean, Whittier's only given up one hit. It was that double from Danny Orr that we mentioned was only feet from a home run, but ever since Whittier's been lights out, he's had 3 Ks, no walks given up.
Whittier is going to need to do work to not give up his first walk. Houghton Henley finds himself in a 3-1. Whittier sets. Delivers this one in the zone. Houghton Henley splits the Ricketts up the middle, and it's picked up by Whitsley, and he finds himself on first. That hit the ground, went up the pitching track, went off the mound, and bounced again near second base, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting hit, a lucky one from Henley. Glad he wasn't, that didn't bounce off of Whittier's leg or second base, but Henley's a guy who has gotten on base more times than he hasn't. You know, we expected a walk there, however, gets on with a hit.
He'll be followed up by Brady Powell. He gets his bat behind this one, bounces up the left field line, and goes foul before reaching the third base.
You know, you meant, with Powell being up, looking at the lineup from, a third-person point of view, I like the play from the Giants coaching staff. You got Brady Ruiz Weiss at the bottom, followed by Henley and Powell. You got your 3 fastest guys all back-to-back-to-back. I mean, Powell and Henley are first and second. Powell leading in stolen bases, and Brady Ruiz Weiss probably the fastest man on this team.
I always like to say that Brady Powell is more likely to steal a base than not. He doesn't like to be out on first. He likes to get to scoring position as quick as possible. He's going to have work to do if he's going to find the base path. He finds himself 0-2 against Whittier. Houghton Henley's the one on first. He takes off. That one was outside. The throw is off from Ellis. Houghton Henley slides in. It was a bit high for Noel Rivera. He had to jump to catch that. So the speedy Houghton Henley gets to scoring position, as well as it being a ball, so the at-bat will remain alive for Brady Powell.
Yeah, it looked like a good throw down from Ellis, but Henley's acceleration, those last 5 steps really got him there in time.
Henley takes his lead off second now. Powell puts his bat behind this one. This time it got past the third baseline. Houghton Henley's going to round 3. Powell's going to head 2. No play made at either plate as both walk it in safely. And just like that, the Giants cut the lead in half.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting from Powell. That was straight down the line. It would have been a hard play by Soon to make. And that is the first run for the Giants.
So the importance of getting those extra bases via steals is in play there from Houghton Henley, is he most likely would not have scored had he not stolen on the previous pitch.
Yeah, now with Powell on second base, you just wonder if he's going to take third or just have his speed allowing him getting home from second.
Well, Danny Orr had a double last time around. Can he find the magic again? He watches ball 1.
Danny Orr's 3 home runs, 2 of those coming in the past 4 games, so he's been hot recently. This is after he was selected to the All-Star game that we unfortunately weren't able to play.
Swing and a miss there from Orr. The off-speed outside catches him.
Or we're able to hit in Powell. This would be his 20th RBI of the season.
Whittier checks back on Powell. Orr swings and misses on this one. Both strikes have been swings and misses for Orr.
Off-speed's definitely been throwing off the Giants' bats so far.
Whittier will set. He's trying to get his second out of the inning. Delivers this one far outside. Good eye from Orr. Trackman didn't even pick that one up on the zone. A ton of motion coming across the body of Whittier. It's a 2-2 count. Orr watches that one inside, and the count is fully loaded for Danny Orr, the Giants' leader in at-bats this season.
You know, probably the biggest moment of this early game so far.
Danny Orr gets his bat behind this one. Will it find the gap? It does indeed. Brady Powell takes off for third. He's going to stay right there. Danny Orr is on first base. The corners are filled.
A nice piece of hitting from Orr, especially with 2 strikes. Definitely was in a 2-strike stance there. That one was really outside. However, he liked it enough to put his bat on it, gets it in play, and finds himself on first.
Just perfectly in between Noel Rivera and Whitsley. Tyler Whitsley in center field. That's back-to-back times he's had to field a Danny Orr ball. As we'll have the first meeting to the mound as Jamie Whittier will meet up with his manager. This looks like just a talk over rather than a taking of the ball.
Yeah, you know, even with these past 2 hits, I think Whittier has had a very strong outing. 3 strikeouts, 4 hits given up. Still no walks. No walks from either starting pitchers this game. You know, of course, this can spiral down if the Giants were able to score Powell and Orr. However, I think he's just given Whittier a chance to breathe, tell him to relax, and go back to his stuff.
That wasn't a full infield meeting, so I'm going to assume that was just the pitching coach going over the stuff, what they want to see to find 2 more outs and end this 3rd inning. Giants hope to end it with Brady Powell and hopefully Danny Orr both crossing home plate. Andrew Hollib's going to be the first one with a chance to do it. He watches strike 1.
Hollib popped out in his first at-bat, but it was a great hit, just a even better play from Andy Rivera out in right field.
As I mentioned, Hollib is headed to USC Upstate, a JUCO program. Gets his bat behind this one into the nets in Gaithersburg.
Something I haven't mentioned yet. Whittier pitched against the Giants earlier this season. He pitched 2 1/3 inning, allowed 3 hits and 3 strikeouts, only 1 run given up.
Whittier delivers now. This is off the bat of Hollib. That is right to Chitla. He doesn't even try the play at second. Decides to get Hollib out at first with 1 out. Brady Powell crosses home plate. Scores the 2nd run for Gaithersburg. And Danny Orr heads to second. So Chitla decided not to try to turn a double play. Looked like Orr had a good hop and decides to just go for Hollib.
Yeah, good on Orr to getting the second in time. You know, you see that ground ball and you instantly think a double play. However,
and this one off the bat of Rudisil. It's going deep, deep, and goodbye. Bryce Rudisil, 2-run home run. We didn't even get time to introduce him. He makes quick work of the pitch from Jamie Whittier. Orr crosses home, and now it's Rudisil rounding the 4th base.
Yeah, it's Rudisil's 2nd of the season. We had that one going 367 feet. Just a nice piece of hitting from the kid. That was a faster pitch, than we've seen from Whittier all night. That one was 79, and Rudisil took that one for a ride.
And it's a scene out of the movies in the Gaithersburg dugout as they chant, Rudy, Rudy, Rudy. And this one's off the bat of Ethan McNally. It's an easy play made by Sung. He delivers it across. Wolpert gets the 3rd out. Damage done by the Giants this inning, Jake.
Yeah, it's great hitting all around. You know, you get back to the top of the lineup. Henley puts up a base knock. Brady Powell gets an RBI double. Danny Orr gets on base. Hollib gets that RBI ground out. Then Rudisil with a 2-run shot. So a lot of production from the top of your lineup to get the lead back.
And just like that, the Giants are back in the lead. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd when we come back on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Yep.
Right.
We're back here in Gaithersburg. We just saw a home run from Bryce Rudisil. He's now out on first base. So the Giants head to the defensive side of the ball. DC Grays are at the plate. Starting off, it's center fielder Tyler Wiltsey. He had to watch that ball go over his head. Still Sean McCabe for Gaithersburg. He delivers strike one.
Yeah, you mentioned that home run. Rudisil now tied for second in home runs, only trailing Danny Orr, the other run who came in on that shot.
Strike two there for Wiltsey.
McCabe looking to tie Whittier in strikeouts this game.
Can't find the zone on the put away. It's going to become a 1-2. You mentioned McCabe trying to match Whittier. That was a bit of an off speed across the body. Now this one finds the zone. Wiltsey goes down looking. McCabe gets his second punch out.
Yeah, that one there coming at 86. One of the faster pitches we've seen from both sides, able to get the job done.
Tanner Wolpert, the first baseman, now heads to the plate. He watches strike one.
Yeah, Wolpert, 320 on the season and 25 at bats, so definitely not the most on his team this late in the season, but it's been productive.
Gets his bat behind this one, sends it right over to the Gaithersburg dugout. Again, Gaithersburg in the home dugout, despite being the technically away team while being at their home stadium. A very confusing day. Due to weather conditions preventing the Grays field from playing. McCabe delivers now. This is off the bat of Wolpert, high in the air. Calling for it is Maxey, and he's the one that makes the grab.
Quick 2 outs for the Giants after taking back the lead. Momentum has been the theme of this team. They've been running with it for the past handful of games, and we saw 2 nights ago against the T-Bolts, they were down, I believe it was 6 runs. It was, 8 runs.
8 runs.
They got 6 runs in 1 inning and eventually ended up gaining the lead after that.
There's strike one from McCabe. It's Andy Rivera at the plate. And that game against the T-Bolts, Jake, you and I still need to call the bottom of the 9th inning as we had to shut down as it got past 11 o'clock in Silver Spring. Off the batter, Rivera, this is high. It's going to hit the net before anybody... Sorry, that went over the net. All the way almost to the soccer field here at Kelly Park. That had to be a high-hit ball, Jake, to get over the nets here.
Yeah, Rivera leads the team in strikeouts, finds himself down 0-2.
McCabe looking to add to the strikeout count. Swing and a miss. He does. Rivera heads back to his dugout. And just like that, Gaithersburg goes quickly through the inning after getting 4 last time around. Jake, what can they do to keep the bats hot when they get back up to the plate?
Well, we saw a lot of guys fighting, and they were still able to produce. We saw a lot of guys with either 2 strikes or in full count still managed to put the ball in play. So it's never giving up in an at-bat and just waiting for a pitch you like. We mentioned, Whittier, his release angle, definitely an odd one, but it's a lot of off-speed, and there's not a lot of variation in speed even when he does go a little faster. So it's just timing up and waiting for a pitch you want. And when you do get that pitch, you've got to execute on it.
And we'll see if the Giants can continue to execute. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Back here, it's the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. We saw fireworks last time the Giants were at the plate. It's going to be Cade Hentz, the shortstop, that looks to continue it.
Cade Hens, as I mentioned, the reached on error king this season. Did it in his last at bat, looking for what I can only assume is a real hit.
We talked about the Hens ball is hard to field. He hopes to put this one in no questionable play. He watches ball one. Got away from Ellis, but there's no base runner, so no further punishment.
Yeah, Hens on the season, he's got 6 hits and 5 RBIs, so definitely been effective. And he's managed to put the ball in play with runners in scoring position.
Hence watches that strike. There's, again, that off speed. The 70-71 motion from Whittier against right-handed hitters has been really dangerous tonight, Jake.
Yeah, I've been very effective with it outside those 4 batters last inning.
Hence able to fight this one off into the nets in his Jacksonville gear. Jacksonville with one of my favorite mascots in all of Division I sports, Jake, the Dolphins. I think that's a fitting mascot for a team in Florida. Same one as Lemoyne College, though, up in Syracuse. I don't really know why they're the Dolphins. The Dolphin puts this one into play. It's right to Chitla. He sends it across. There's the first out.
Yeah, you mentioned the Dolphins. I was going to talk about the team up in Syracuse. Definitely an interesting team to choose as the Dolphins. I remember their first Division I basketball game against Villanova, the school both my parents went to, and I'm just kind of like, what are we doing with a dolphin as our logo? And that went very well for the Wildcats.
I'm fortunate enough to get to call some games for Lemoyne as a Syracuse student. And a square to bunt here from Ryan Maxey. He pulls it back in time for ball one. I get to call some games at Lemoyne. I was doing lacrosse this spring. I hope to do baseball and soccer and many of their other sports in my sophomore year. So they've got one of the more interesting mascots. This one off the bat of Maxey right into the gap. Wiltsey and Rivera meet up to retrieve that one, not before Maxey gets himself on base.
Yeah, that's what you like to see from the Giants dugout especially. A guy who struggled at the plate, struck out looking in his first at-bat, quickly recovers with a hard-hit single to get the bats going in the top of the 4th.
So, 1 out. Maxey finds himself at the plate. Brady Ruiz-Weiss, the Yale Bulldog, steps up to bat. He watches ball one. The ump hesitated. The umpire looked like he was going to call a strike there. I don't know why I thought that, and it was close to the zone, but he just never made the motion. This one's off the bat of Ruiz-Weiss, almost to a similar spot. Rivera tried to get his glove on it. That's another base knock.
Yeah, that was some interesting movement, not from Andy Rivera, but Noel Rivera at shortstop. They are not related. However, Noel looked like he had. I thought he was going to have it at first, and from our angle, it looks like he pulled away his glove. Of course, I'm confident that wasn't the case, but as you said, a very similar shot to Maxey from Weiss.
And the Rivera, not related Riveras, I think I've called 3 DC games, and they're confusing to keep track of in our lineup cards and our defensive pictures, Jake. But again, that was Noel Rivera that just couldn't find his glove under it. We're going to watch a pitching change here from DC. So as we give them time to warm up and find a new arm, we'll take a break. Stay with us.
1-2.
Back here in Gaithersburg, it's the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. There's been a call to the bullpen for the DC Grays. Mason Potter, the incoming freshman at Hood College, steps up to face the incoming freshman at UMD, Nate Houghton-Henley.
Potter's made 2 previous appearances. He's got an ERA of 2.07.
Houghton-Henley finds the ball on that one, rounding the bases now. It's Maxey who's going to head home. Ruiz Weiss is going to run out to third. And just like that, the Nate Houghton-Henley 1-run double. It is a 5-2 game here in Gaithersburg. So not the most ideal start for Potter out of the bullpen.
Yeah, not what you want to see there. Houghton-Henley getting another RBI base knock. And, now you got 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 out. So Potter's got to shake that one off quickly. So I was just talking about Potter's only made 2 previous appearances. He's got 4 1/3 inning pitched. And he has 3 strikeouts, no walks given up, however, 5 hits.
He delivers ball 1 to Brady Powell. We talked about it last time around, but the 3 fastest guys on the team all in play for Gaithersburg right now, with Ruiz Weiss on third, Houghton-Henley on second, and Powell at the batter's box. That pitch looked like it clipped him. It did indeed, and he heads to first. We talked about the 3 fastest guys. I bet they all wish they had a base that they could steal, but bases are loaded, so not really anywhere for them to go.
Yeah, that's Powell's 3rd hit by pitch this season. His last one against the big train on his left ankle caused him to sit out 1 game, but he is fine and back at it. And it would take a pretty wild pitch for all these guys to add to their stolen base category for sure.
And Danny Orr steps to bat. He hopes no base is stolen. He hopes he can bat them all in. This one's a high fly ball. It's right to Wolpert. He eyes it, doesn't lose it in the sun. There's an out. 2 outs now in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, infield fly rule called on that one. Unfortunate for Danny Orr, just got a little too under it.
And just like that, the designated hitter. Who else would you want up to bat than the DH with bases loaded? It's Andrew Holub. He watches ball 1.
Holub, another guy you added to his home run statistic against the Metro South County Braves a couple nights ago.
Holub gets set against Potter. Potter delivers now. Holub puts his bat behind it. This one, it's flying out. Ellis attempts to make the grab over in the gravel. He does, and the inning, bases left loaded and stranded for Gaithersburg. They did get 1 run in. It's 5-2. Stay with us on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network.
One, two.
We're back here. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. It's Joe Marini that will lead off this inning for DC. Still out on the mound, the future Cougar, Sean McCabe, incoming freshman, College of Charleston. He only faced 3 batters last time around. He delivers ball 1.
Marini again, still looking for his first hit this season. He struck out swinging his last at-bat.
Delivers this pitch again inside. Marini had to lean away from it. 2-0 is the count. McCabe finds the zone. Swing and a miss from Marini. Apologies, he didn't find the zone on the TrackMan, but Marini goes down swinging regardless. Drop to a knee for that pitch. Gets his bat behind in this one. It's into the netting. So McCabe has fought himself back to a 2-2. Marini settles himself outside of the box, steps back in, prepares to face McCabe. Can he find the put away? That one's too high. The count will go full.
Yeah, seeing a lot of similarities to Alex Cromwell in his outing against the T-Bolts a couple nights ago. That just off speed has been working for McCabe.
Now McCabe puts this one into the dirt. That'll be the first walk we've seen. Joe Marini takes off his gear and heads to first.
Yeah, something I didn't want to mention when the Giants were on the field, but you're right. The first walk we've seen, I think this is the longest we've gone into a game without seeing a walk from both teams, so it's pretty good pitching we've seen on display.
Impressive control so far. Now in the box, Ryan Sung. He fouls this one high and away. Call a heads up at the soccer field, and that drops clear of anybody. No damage done. We're not close to any parking lots here in Gaithersburg, so no car alarms to go off, Jake.
Yes, luckily that is the case here at Criswell Automated Field.
Song puts his bat again behind this one. This one heads over to his own dugout.
And, you know, Song, I think I talked a little bit about his batting, but he leads the team in hits, walks, and stolen bases. He has 23 hits, 21 walks, and 26 stolen bases, so definitely the all-around man for this Grays team.
Attempted pickoff is not there in time. Joe Marini diving back. And should mention Song has since bumped over to shortstop since this game began. He began the game on the third base, and Adonisio has subbed in to fill the third bag.
Yeah, and Adonisio subbing in for Joey Chilta. So a quick day for the shortstop out of Wofford.
McCabe's in a 1-2 against Song. Sends this one high. Going to be 2-2. Still no outs in the bottom of the fourth. It's Marini out on first. We've seen one attempted pickoff. Song puts his bat behind this one. It's going to find the gap over the head of Hentz. Picked up by Houghton Henley. The speedy future Terp gets there in time, so it's only a base hit for Song.
I feel like we've seen so many of those shallow outfield hits this season from the Giants and their opponents. I mean, it's just so unfortunate. You know, Henley and Hentz both had no chance on that one. But it's, kind of a lousy hit, too. You know, it's not like Song is going home to tell everyone about that hit either. Just one of those awkward things in the sport of baseball.
It's been about the third or fourth hit, to my count, that's been in that no man's land zone. Kind of too far for the infielders, too close for the outfielders. This one's off the bat of Noel Rivera. It's high in the sky. Rudisil says he has it. Waves everyone off. Base runners stayed where they were. Rudisil turned. He wanted to pick off for a second, but he'll take the single out.
Yeah, that was a late call from Rudisil. Powell was running over like he wanted it, and he kept on looking at Rudisil.
Now, McCabe sets. He's facing Mark Quarry, the designated hitter tonight. He watches strike one.
Quarry, one of the 4 strikeouts for McCabe tonight. Went down swinging his last at-bat.
He's got two guys on the base path. McCabe checks back on Marini. Now delivers to Quarry. Swing and a miss on the reach down. 0-2 for the junior at Wofford.
Wofford. That is one of three Wofford players in the starting lineup. Chilta, one who was subbed out, and Whittier, another Wofford player.
And that is going to be the first ball of this at-bat. Quarry stepped out of the batter's box. I thought he was headed home for some reason. Looked like he thought it might have been a strike. Stays in. No motion from the ump. So it's a 1-2. Again, it's Marini out on second. Song out on first. McCabe checks. Now it's a swing tipped foul from Quarry.
Yeah, that one moved a little too much out of Quarry's bat for McNally to hold on to.
Looks like it might also clipped McNally as he takes a few seconds to walk that one off.
Yeah, you always got to appreciate umpires that will go and, do something to take up time while a, hitter or catcher looks to just get some time to breathe. So nice from the home plate umpire there to give McNally a second of his own.
McNally and the home plate ump exchange pleasantries after that encounter. So Quarry's going to be up with a 1-2 as he foul-tipped that one. McCabe checks out on second for Marini. Now turns back. Delivers, and it's a swing and a miss from Quarry. The punch out from McCabe. 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth.
I mean, that's probably been McCabe's best pitch of the night. That one, only 69 miles per hour. I believe that's his slowest of the night. And, of course, we have a wonky angle up here from the press box. That looked like it was all the way at Quarry's head, then fell down in the zone. He didn't have a chance with it.
That did look like it started off high, tagged our zone right at the middle. Swing and a miss from Ellis. He was upset that he went all the way through. He knew it as soon as he went. He tried to pull back, shook his head. It's strike one.
Yeah, that was an ugly swing from Ellis, and the Giants dugout took amusement to it.
McCabe still checking back on Marini. And there, Ellis leaned back from that pitch, although it found the zone.
McCabe is on his stuff right now, looking for his 6th punch out.
McCabe looking for the put away. He's got 2 outs already. Doesn't quite find it on that pitch. Too low for the zone. Well handled by McNally. So this at-bat will continue. It's Marini on second. Song on first. Ellis is at the plate, working the 1-2. Dealing with 2 outs. It's been McCabe. He's been on fire all inning long from the mound. Can he finish it here? Swing, foul, off from Ellis.
McCabe took a long time there to get his call. Seemed to be shaking a few off. I believe they settled on a fastball.
McCabe looking to put away this inning. His Giants are up 5-2. 2 base runners are on. Delivers this one. Swing and a miss from Ellis. The inning is over with a punch out. It is Sean McCabe absolutely dealing for Gaithersburg.
Yeah, McCabe gave up 4 early hits and had the first walk of this game, but then came back with 2 more great strikeouts. The off-speed has been on point for him today.
The off-speed on point. It's going to be the bats that need to be on point for the Giants when we come back. This is the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. We're back here in Gaithersburg. The Giants are up 5-2. Stepping up to the plate, it's Bryce Rudisil. Last time around, Jake, it was a pretty memorable at-bat.
Yeah, Rudisil has been on his stuff recently. A 2-run shot. His first one was a 3-run home run, so likes to get those big hits with the runners on.
He watches ball one. It's Mason Potter, the incoming freshman, Hood College, making an appearance out of the bullpen. We saw him last inning. He remains on the bump for DC.
Yeah, only his third appearance. However, he had a pretty strong half inning. He only allowed 1 hit, no runs earned with him.
Rudisil was squaring to bunt, pulled back, called strike regardless. That was tagging the low part of the zone, so it would have been hard to square to bunt for that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a bunt from Rudisil either.
And that one's inside. Rudisil, not typically a guy we see bunt. That's usually Mr. Brady Ruiz Weiss. We see almost squares the bunt every at-bat. Rudisil has the 3-1, swings and misses on this one. That was fired back towards his own dugout. I think Ethan McNally is glad that was just a few feet away from him.
Yeah, with him behind the plate, he's used to seeing those fast ones, but doesn't have his gear on him in the batter's warm-up circle.
This one's off the bat of Rudisil. It's deep into right field. Not as deep as last time because it's right to the glove of Andy Rivera.
Yeah, those just, that's baseball right there. He got a nice hack on it, unfortunately just put right where Andy Rivera was standing.
Sounded like a good crack off the bat, but I'm sure he wishes it went as far as his last one. It's going to be McNally now at the plate. Watches ball one.
McNally 0 for 2 in this game so far. Struck out looking in his first at-bat, grounded out in his second.
He got shaken up after a foul ball in the last inning. We'll see if that comes into play here. He's in a 1-1. Potter delivers this off the bat of McNally. It gets past the glove of Adonisio into the left field. Marini picks it up. And just like that, McNally finds himself on first base.
Yeah, so that's now 2 times where first time it was Song, this time Adonisio. Both of them made great efforts to keep the ball in the infield. Both of them fall just a little short for a Giants base hit.
And that just, it seemed like it barely tagged his glove. He was there. We kind of heard like a skip come off it, so sure he wishes he had that one back. Cade Hentz is at the plate now. The Dolphin, as we talked about, watches strike one.
I talked about his reach on errors. You see it in his on-base percentage. He's .409 in 22 plate appearances. And still batting .316 even with these hits that are not counted as hits. So been very productive in his short season for the Giants.
He watches that one outside. It's handled off the hop from Ellis. He thought about a throw down at first for a second.
Yeah, it was a nice play from Ellis. Surprised he was able to keep that one in front of him.
The future Scarlet Knight showing off his footwork. Potter delivers this off the bat of Hentz, and it is thrown back to first base in time, but McNally's going to stay there.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. I thought the play was going to be made by Song, however the throw was off. I couldn't tell if it hit off McNally or if it was just, if Walpert just lost it in the light, but definitely an awkward little play there, and McNally gets an extra life on first.
I couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but McNally, I'm sure he's happy to stay back out there. Now it's Ryan Maxey at the plate. He's ready and watches ball one.
Maxey getting a solid base knock to kind of start that rally the Giants had back in the third inning.
That led to 4 runs. Maxey watches ball 2. Good eye from the third baseman. Now, this one, the first one to find the zone in this battle of Potter and Maxey. 2-1. Attempted pickoff on McNally. Potter wasn't happy they didn't call him out on that last ball in play, so he's trying to manufacture out number 3. Squaring to bunt was Maxey. Interesting strategy with the 2-1 and 2 outs.
Yeah, we've seen 2 unique bunt calls that we haven't seen much this season out of Maxey and Rudisil. And like you said, it's not to start that at bat. They're kind of right in the middle, just an awkward timed call.
He pulled back in time for ball 3, and now he watches ball 4. So, unorthodox as it may be, Ryan Maxey finds himself on first base.
Hey, we know how much our general manager, Matthew Kangas, loves the bunt to move base runners into scoring position. Could be some of that influence. And, maybe the awkward timing is to throw the pitcher off. Seemed to work there as ball 4 was thrown right after.
Off the bat, foul from Brady Ruiz-Weiss goes right back to the on-deck circle for Nate Houghton-Henley.
Weiss is a guy you got to be ready for a bunt for, no matter what the count is.
He's almost always squaring to bunt. I believe his coach wants him to get a high number, almost 40 for the Yale Bulldogs. Attempted bunts this summer. He watches that ball for the 1-1.
And, the last time, in the third run when the Giants had all those runs, they ended the inning with bases loaded. So, of course, the 3-run lead is nice. It could be a lot more, and the Giants leaving runners in scoring position was a crucial error that was keeping them from finishing games and winning games early in the season. They've done better with it these past handful of games, but trying to see if they could score their runner on second, McNally, even with 2 outs.
Ruiz-Weiss is going to have some work to do to not leave McNally in scoring position. 2-1, no sacrifice opportunity in play. There is 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Potter sets, not before checking McNally. Delivers this one far left side of the plate. 3-1 is the count.
So Potter has struggled in his short outing.
Potter winds up, delivers. He put it over the plate. Ruiz-Weiss fights it foul. So the count goes fully loaded with 2 outs. Ruiz-Weiss at the plate. McNally in scoring position on second. Maxey on first. McNally takes off. It's the full count. Doesn't matter because it's ball 4. There is a spot for Ruiz-Weiss, so the bases will go fully loaded. Just like that, Nate Houghton-Henley steps up to bat.
Nate Houghton-Henley, a pair of base knocks today. Started off with a single, then had a RBI double. So a good guy you want up in this position.
And now it'll be a quick time between Aiden Ellis, the catcher, and his pitcher Mason Potter. Won't be joined by any coaches, just the ace and the catcher trying to get on the same page with bases loaded, 2 outs.
Yeah, that meeting could be about anything from, a play they're trying to do to get a runner out on a base, or what to do if there is a wild pitch. Could be a number of things.
Wild pitch would most likely lead to a run scoring. Swing and a miss from Houghton-Henley. He did tip it foul, but doesn't matter. It's 0-1. Potter delivers, trying to escape this inning scoreless. This off the bat of Houghton-Henley. It's going deep to Rivera. He gets to his spot in time, right to his glove to end the inning. Back-to-back times, Jake, that the Giants have left bases loaded to end an inning.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, Henley did what he, did all he could. He put the ball in play. Just an unfortunate situation. Of course, they loaded the bases with 2 outs. Weren't able to get the job done, but you'd hate to see this come back to bite the Giants. Still a long game to go and a lot of time for the Graves to tie up this game.
Sean McCabe has been dealing on the mound for Gaithersburg. He heads back out there. We'll step away while he warms up for the bottom of the 5th inning. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants broadcast network. Leading off the inning for the DC Grays, it's going to be TJ Adenozio up to bat. He subbed in. He didn't start this game, but we have him now. He's an incoming freshman at Richmond. Future Spider gets set to face the future Cougar. Sean McCabe has dealt so far. He's got strike one.
A unique experience. We got two freshmen facing off against each other. Not what we usually see here in the Cal Ripken League.
There's the first ball of the freshman battle. Adenozio stepped out of the box for a second, now gathers his swing. McCabe delivers. This one finds the zone. You mentioned an interesting opportunity with two freshmen. Jake, it was kind of weird watching guys our grade get drafted in the NBA draft a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, definitely tough when you get to this age. You're a young college kid. You think you're doing well for yourself, and you see those top 1%ers.
And swing and a miss from Adenozio. The incoming freshman's going to need a little bit more time to get to that MLB spot. He heads back to his own dugout. But it happened a couple years ago when the MLB started drafting guys our age. This year when Cooper Flagg went, he was 18. I'm 19. That felt really weird.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot about a lot of guys grading up to get drafted earlier. He's been a star for a long time, but there's no place I'd rather be now than Criswell Automated Field broadcasting this Giants Grays game after McCabe just got his 22nd strikeout
in the season. Well, the incoming freshman showing maturity so far. He does have the 2-0, currently against Wiltsey. Does not find the zone on the third, so if he wants to continue this battle, he'll need to put one across the plate. And he fails to find that zone.
Yeah, it's a 4-pitch walk. The first 4-pitch walk in his second of the day. So, he's thrown 5 great innings. That, fatigue will start to show eventually. It's just, is he able to recover from that 4-pitch walk and get the last 2 outs in this inning?
It was a battle with Adenozio in that punch-out, so you imagine that it's going to take a little time to find his stuff again now with Wolpert stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, last inning, a lot of full counts, 2-2s. Pitch count definitely getting up there.
There he finds the zone. Wolpert jumped out of the way, but that was indeed a strike. With Wolpert jumping, I was about to mention it's 5 straight balls, but he's the one putting it across. So it's 0-1 for McCabe. This one off the bat of Wolpert. That's going to go into right field. Calling for it is Houghton Henley. I got it, and indeed he does. Just like that, Adenozio will retreat back. Sorry, not Adenozio. Wiltsey will retreat back to first.
Yeah, Houghton Henley just raced over there, and we could hear it calm from here. That's what you want from your center fielder.
Certainly good communications. You and I, two communications majored guys ourselves. Glad to see that. That one's again off the bat. Houghton Henley's going to be the one that needs to make back-to-back plays. This one much easier, gets underneath it. He was a little quieter there, Jake.
Yeah, a little quieter. Didn't have much competition for that ball. I mean, he was in there so quick again that he had to stop on a dive, almost overran it, but able to make the play.
So, just like that, this inning is over. That's the end of the fifth. Stay tuned in, stay watching, stay listening on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Still on the mound for the DC Grays, it's Mason Potter. His first batter for this inning is going to be Brady Powell. The All-Star in the game that wasn't able to happen due to weather yesterday. I think Brady Powell was happier to take off a rest day than head out to Shirley Povich, especially with how far he lives. He lives far down in Southern Maryland. He said that Gaithersburg is the furthest team from him in the entire league, yet he stayed loyal to the team that took a chance on him coming off of Tommy John surgery last summer. He was a highly recruited guy coming into this summer. I'm sure many teams would have taken a chance on him, but he stayed faithful to the Gaithersburg Giants despite the long commute.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. Definitely been an asset for this Giants team, as the home plate umpire took one to the chin, I believe. Just took a second to walk it off.
Glad to see he's okay. There he calls strike two against Powell. You weren't with me, but I did see one umpire go out due to injury in one of these games, so glad to see the guys in black and blue staying out there. Powell gets this one off his bat. It's right to Wiltsey in center field, and that will be an out.
I mean, that was shot off of Powell's bat. Just an unfortunate launch angle off of it. That definitely had the power to leave Criswell Automated Field. However, doesn't do it there. Instead, first out of the inning.
So, one out down. Danny Orr steps to the plate. He was a few feet shy of a home run. Got a double that bounced off the back center wall. This one's high in the sky. Calling for it is Noel Rivera, and he is the one to make the grab. So, two quick flyouts from the Giants.
Yeah, unfortunate inning so far. Mason Potter, who was sort of struggling last inning, has bounced back pretty quickly this inning with, as mentioned, two pop-outs.
Now, Andrew Holub. He's working with two outs. They've been two quick flies. He watches ball one. He's going to have work to do if he wants to deal some damage this inning.
Holla, but one of the power guys still looking for his first hit this game. He popped out in his first at-bat and had a RBI ground out in his second.
And that one called strike. It was far right of the zone, well framed by Aiden Ellis behind the dish. Now this one inside, called ball. 2-1 with two outs for Andrew Holub.
Holub, I also believe, was the man up to bat with bases loaded the first time and was out.
And that ball gets past Ellis. I'm sure he's happy that Brady Powell and Danny Orr are not out on the base path. Those are two speedy guys that he'd have to deal with on a pass pitch. It's 3-1 for Holub. Can he be the first base runner for this Giants squad this inning? And indeed, he is. 5-pitch walk. Holub tosses his bat and takes his choice of first.
Yeah, he's a guy who's not always happy with a walk. He'll take it here, as that is his first time he's reached base tonight.
He's a power guy. He prefers putting the bat behind the ball because he certainly is good at it, but he's the first base runner via walk. So Bryce Rudisil up to bat now, affectionately known by his teammates as Rudy, as we heard that chant coming in, like the Notre Dame legendary movie, Rudy, Rudy, after his home run. This pitch is inside on Rudisil. He's dealing with Holub out on first. 1-1's the count. Rudisil watches this one a good eye as he gets to the 2-1.
We've seen a lot of two-out magic from the Giants recently, and Rudisil, a guy who has contributed to that magic, looking to do it again.
He watches ball 3 there. You talked about the two-out rallies from the Giants. We've seen Rudisil have that 2-shot home run. They like the pressure. They knowing they can't get any sacrifice outs. Pressure makes diamonds, and Gaithersburg loves their pressure. Rudisil, not with the eye there. He watches strike 2 to load the count full.
Potter still looking for his first strikeout in his outing, as successful as he's been.
Swing and a miss from Rudisil. That will retire the side. So just like that, we've seen 3 straight innings with runners left on base for Gaithersburg. No two-out rally there. When we come back, we'll see DC up to bat. It's the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. We're back here in Gaithersburg. The Giants made a call to the bullpen. A fantastic outing from Sean McCabe, Jake, but it was the end of his night. Now it's Leo Simpson out on the mound, the Towson Tiger.
Yeah, we talked about McCabe's, full counts. We knew the pitch count was getting up there. However, another very reliable arm coming in for the Giants. As mentioned, number 26, Leo Simpson. Leo Simpson had a ERA of 0 through his first 7 appearances. That grew to 4 when he pitched against the Crop Dusters on July 2nd. So his total stats, he got an ERA of 4. This is his 9th appearance, 9 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, and 13 walks.
So Simpson trying to replicate what his man McCabe did in front of him. This one is off the bat of Luke Cauchy. He subbed into the game. That was right into right field for Ruiz Weiss. Cauchy, meant to mention that he had subbed in on defense last time around for Joe Marini in left field. So that was Cauchy's first plate appearance.
And a quick first out for Leo Simpson as well, as McNally tries to get a quick meeting in. Umpire keeps it as short as he can.
Ryan Sung heads up to the plate. Simpson sets up, delivers. This one's too low. Fun fact about Leo Simpson is he goes to the same gym as our other broadcaster, David Lewis. David was talking about that
awesome.
They run into each other. So when Leo was showing his stuff, he knew that he was working out in the gym, pumping iron to get that strength on the speed.
Yeah, you talk about pumping iron. This is some of the fastest speed we've seen in a while. Fastest this game for sure, as that last one came in at 88, previous one 89.
Still yet to find the zone in this at-bat. It was 88 again, so the speed is there. Simpson just needs to put this one in the right view of the ump. Delivers this one, ball 4 outside. And just like that, Ryan Sung heads to first base. We talked about his great on-base percentage. He gets there in any way possible.
Yeah, and he'll take a 4-pitch walk. Not what you want to see so early into a pitcher's outing. However, it did get that first out, so the double play is on. And you'd love to see a ball hit towards this very successful middle infield. Of course, you got a new face at second base, Brady Powell, but I'm sure he'll be able to get the job done.
Noel Rivera is at the plate. You mentioned Brady Powell. He's an all-tool guy. We talk about his stealing bases and his hitting. He plays outfield. Today he's at second. Plays all around. Simpson attempts the pickoff. He wasn't happy. He put Sung out there on a 4-pitch walk. Wanted to send him packing. Doesn't get there in time. Mentioned Brady Powell. He had Tommy John surgery 2 seasons ago, so he played infield for the summer despite being an everyday outfielder because he didn't have the right arm. This one is high off the bat of Noel Rivera. Danny Orr's calling for it. He's going to have to run. Makes the falling catch. And an impressive one from Danny Orr.
Yeah, scary one at that. Of course, it was an impressive catch. Should not have been that difficult to have it called. Looking at where it landed, I think Henley could have easily called that one. However, just a lack of communication, and luckily, a leader on this team, Danny Orr, coming in, called it off and making the play for out number 2.
Looked like that one might have moved in the air as Danny Orr almost stopped and then began his run again, and he had called for it, so he had to make the play. Another attempted pickoff on Song. Not there in time. I'm telling you, Leo Simpson, he wants to get him out of there. He's not happy about that 4-pitch walk.
Yeah, that was a delayed call by the first base umpire. I think he was having a thought before deciding he was safe.
And that one put just outside of the zone. Simpson wasn't happy with that one. You could hear him not pleasant with how that one came out. 1-0 is the count. This one fouled off the bat of... we have a pinch hitter. It's Ryan Grace. He's into the lineup for what I'm going to assume is Mark Quarry at DH.
Yeah, sorry, we have no PA announcer because, again, the Grays are the home team, so we are finding out about these new players entering the game as soon as we can.
Grace watches ball 2. 2-1 is the count. Yes, you mentioned no PA announcers. And the Grays, they don't have numbers on the front of their jersey, so it's hard to pick up when there's a substitution.
Ryan Grace on the season, he's batting 200. He has 4 RBIs. He's got 2 doubles.
Well, he adds to it there. That one's only a single. Danny Orr picks it up in left field. Put that right between the gap of Maxey and Hentz in the left field infield.
So that's the first hit given up by Leo Simpson. He's got a hit and a walk. Still looking for that first strikeout.
Another fast pitch. That was 88, right in the middle of the zone. So the power is there from Simpson.
I mean, I'm sure, all these guys are collegiate level guys. I'm sure they're used to these high 80 speeds. Ken, I don't follow collegiate level baseball everywhere. However, I'm sure these guys aren't seeing 70s and even high 60s all the time. So I think that's kind of what the league has figured out. These slower guys, these guys are throwing slower, a lot of movement coming in, and they're dealing much better than these guys throwing some faster speeds.
And Aiden Ellis is at the plate now. That off speed can be dangerous. This one, it's an attempted pickoff. Is it there in time? They say he is. It was Rivera. Sorry, it was Song that attempted stealing third. And Simpson had 2 pickoff attempts on him. He wasn't happy about the 4-pitch walk. I'm sure he's relieved to see Song not cross home plate.
Yeah, we just talked. I mean, I believe you mentioned it earlier. McNally coming in. He's a very strong guy behind the plate, getting his first pickoff of the night there. Certainly not his first of the season, but comes at an important time. The Grays creeping up. They had 2 outs. However, they're starting to get on base. More walks from Simpson in that half inning than we've seen this game. So, Song on third there would have been very dangerous. McNally keeping the Giants out of a pickle.
So we'll take a break. Stay with us on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. We're back in Gaithersburg. It's Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. The Giants are up 5-2. Ethan McNally, the guy behind the plate, is first up to bat for Gaithersburg.
Yeah, McNally ended the 6th inning just a few minutes ago with a throw out to third base.
McNally puts his bat behind this one. It's tracking right to Couchy, and he makes the catch.
Couchy did not have to take a step for that ball, just an unfortunate placed hit for Ryan Maxey, excuse me.
Sorry, that was Ryan Maxey. I thought that was McNally. That is apologies on me. Wrong spot in the line. Oh, no, that was McNally. Apologies. Confusion here. It's a hot day, Jake.
Yeah, sorry about that. I probably threw you off a little bit.
All good. It's Hentz at the plate. That's what matters now, Jake. And he watches strike one. Another one off the bat. This is going into right field. Can Andy Rivera get there? He does. Makes the not quite diving, not quite falling, but extended catch that would have dropped fair had it gone. But Hentz is going to have to retreat to his own dugout.
Yeah, Andy Rivera has been very active out there in right field in a very efficient inning for Potter so far. I mean, I believe he's looking at a possible 3-pitch inning, I believe.
And I believe you're right there. He delivers this one. It's a ball.
Let us all down with that, unfortunately, but still a very successful inning so far for the Gray.
This one's high. Ball 2. Now it's Ryan Maxey. You were just getting excited, Jake. You were excited to see the third baseman get to the plate.
So I swear I saw number 13 on McNally's jersey, but I saw wrong.
Well, the now number 13 watches strike 1. He's working with 2 outs. You and I have talked about these 2-out rallies. Can he get it going? Check swing there. They're going to say it was in the zone regardless, so it's 2-2. Swing and a miss there from Maxey. And just like that, Mason Potter faces 3 batters. 3 of them go away with nothing to show for. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th when we come back. We're back here on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. And we come back. It's Aiden Ellis for the District of Columbia Grays. I used the full legal name there, Jake. I'm trying to switch it up. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day indeed. Ellis, as I mentioned, only batting .56. He got an RBI single, which has definitely boosted his batting average a lot. However, he was out in his second at-bat, looking to go 2 for 3.
And Leo Simpson delivers ball 1. Again, he's got impressive speed. That one didn't catch the track man, but it sounded loud into the glove of McNally. This one off the bat of Ellis. Tried to field it was Simpson. He couldn't get a full piece of it. Running under it was Maxey. He didn't pick it up properly. Probably a good thing. It looked like he was a little bit out of control. Avoid an overthrow. Just take Ellis on first.
Yeah, you can't even blame Simpson for trying that. It's just human instinct. You see a ball coming at you, you're going to go and try and grab it. Not able to get all of it.
They give gold gloves to pitchers as well. They have a defensive position to play.
And as I say that, Ellis now 2 for 3.
Now it's Adonisio. He's in as a sub tonight. He's squared to bunt, but it goes foul before any damage is done. Ellis was headed to second. Actually got there. Has to retreat now.
That was definitely a scary bunt. Adonisio put the bat basically in front of his face and still made contact. Glad he did. That one was high and inside.
They say get your eye on the ball. He took it a little literally there. So it's a 0-1 count for Adonisio. Attempted pickoff from Simpson. Not there in time.
We have seen a lot of those tonight. None have been successful. Actually, no, excuse me. It was Sean McCabe. It wasn't on the tag, but he did get a Gray into a pickle. So we've seen one successful pickoff tonight.
This one high from Simpson. And think the right word to use Simpson's throwing style is angry. He puts his full body in between. He talked about he's a strong guy. You can hear the grunt when he pitches too. Full force behind it. He loads for the 1-1. This one's inside. Doesn't clip at Anisio, but was close. 2-1.
I agree with you on Simpson's throwing style, but the angriest thrower I have ever seen in my life is Alexander Angelidis for the Giants. He has definitely turned it up, turned himself into a starter, as a matter of fact. And, I mean, he has got all the rage when he is on the bump throwing for the Giants.
Angelidis is one of the angriest throwers I've also ever seen. He's a bit of a smaller guy. He puts his entire body behind that. He was telling me and David, our other broadcaster, that because he's short, sometimes the TrackMan doesn't get him on the right speed. So he's had the radar gun come out a few times and, trying to add a few miles an hour on.
Cannot blame him for trying.
Currently in the portal is Angelidis. 3-1 from Simpson. He delivers ball 4.
So Simpson hasn't allowed any runs to score, but also still looking for his first strikeout, and he's got 3 walks on the day.
And McNally and the infield and manager TJ Brockway will take a minute to go meet with Simpson. Back to Angelidis, the angriest pitcher you and I have seen. Little game respects game moment last night. I posted a lacrosse clip on my Instagram story, me making a save. He sent me a quick comment, a quick slide up, said that it was an impressive save. So little game respects game between me and him. Appreciate him. Excited to broadcast one of his next starts.
Yeah, I think us Giants broadcast, we got a pretty good connection with the players. One of the players I'm closest with, actually 2 of them, Brady Powell and Zach White. We were hanging out with them, I mean, it's only a couple weeks ago. Feels like forever when we were waiting on a rain delay. That was eventually called off, but definitely a close family we have here at the Gaithersburg Giants organization.
Zach White and Brady Powell, 2 of the guys that love coming out to hang in the treehouse here at Criswell Automotive Field. Also very close with them, but I went back and looked, and Alex Angelidis actually said, dang, that was gross to the save I made. So, his pitching's gross, I'll tell you that much. Simpson is back out on the mound after a little powwow on the bump. Squaring to bat was Wiltsey, and a throwout was made in time. Ellis got too excited, left the bag early. Wiltsey squared to bunt, pulled it back, and McNally took advantage.
Heads-up play from McNally there, and what a throw. He gunned that thing down to second base, hence applied the tag. The throw is placed in the perfect spot. I mean, I believe the base runner for the Grays stepped on Hence's glove and got himself out. I mean, that's what you want to see from your catcher. Great heads-up play.
And always aware, keeping himself alive, keeping himself in the game. McNally manufactures that out. So he's backing up his guy, Leo Simpson. This one's now off the bat. It's a double play opportunity. Do they turn it in time? No, it isn't. But 1 out is made. So Adonisio will head back to his dugout, and Wiltsey will reach first on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice fielding from the Giants infield. I've only seen 1 successful double play, and that was a 6-4-3. The 5-4-3 a little more difficult. However, they get the lead runner, the most important out of that combination.
You talked about impressive double plays. Me and David watched a 1-2-3, and because it was pitcher to catcher, up to first, and then back down to home plate because as when they threw it up to first, they attempted to. It was the most unorthodox double play I've ever seen. So 1-2-3-2. I guess that's how you say it. This one's now high off the bat of Wolpert, or is there to make the third grab. So the Giants escaped that inning, not letting up any runs. It took a little bit of a meeting, but Leo Simpson gets the job done on the bump. Collin Smith and Jake Tseronis are going to step away here. We're back here in Gaithersburg. The Giants are up 5-2, and the Grays have made a call to the bullpen. It's going to be number 41, A.J. Thomas, the lefty and junior out of Marist, that will take the mound for the district.
Yeah, Thomas, one of the more reliable pitchers in this Grays bullpen. He's got 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, only 3 hits given up. He's got an ERA of 2.7. Looking to keep the Giants at 5 runs these last 2 innings.
It's going to be Brady Ruiz-Weiss that is first up to bat and ready to face Thomas. Ruiz-Weiss was left out on base as part of the bases loaded, left stranded last time around. Oh, and he gets nailed. That was hard hit, but he pops up quick. Brady Ruiz-Weiss taking no time to deal with the damage. The Yale Bulldog showing he's a dog.
That's why they wear helmets. Of course, you never want to see a ball near a batter's head. However, that's one of the better spots to get hit if the ball is not super fast. And, he got right back up, walking over to first, and I'm sure we'll see him on second, maybe third very soon.
Trackman didn't quite catch the speed on that. Glad to see Ruiz-Weiss is all okay. He's followed up by Houghton Henley now. Thomas finds the plate on this one. It's in the zone for strike 1. So, A.J. Thomas comes out hot, but finds himself on the second pitch.
Yeah, there's nothing, just kind of first pitch jitters.
This one fouled right into the fence.
Thomas had a nice move there. Looked like he was going to pick off back to first, had Weiss tracking back. One of the advantages of being a lefty pitcher, able to keep the leads at first base very short.
He's got a staring contest going on. He's got a perfect view for Ruiz-Weiss trying to take that lead. This off the bat of Houghton Henley. Double play opportunity for the Grays. Will they turn it in time? Neither is made. It was a rough pickup from Adenozio, and they didn't get either out.
We got some long infield grass here at Criswell Automated Field, and as you mentioned, this is the third time. You got 2 of the fastest guys on the base pass. Perfect situation, perfect guys on base for a hit like that.
And fortunately, the fielder's choice, the Grays didn't get their choice of an out there. Both base runners alive with Brady Powell coming to the box. You and I have talked about this great stretch of the order for Gaithersburg. A lot of speed and a lot of talent.
Brady Powell right now, he is 2 for 3. He struck out his first time, then a RBI double, is hit by a pitch, and then he popped out in his last at-bat. So, he's 1 for 3.
He watches ball 1. Thomas sets. Again, he's a lefty, not a far lead from Houghton Henley. Great motion on that, comes to find the zone on Brady Powell.
Powell leads the Giants with 15 RBIs, looking to drive in Weiss for his 16th.
This one, again, on the inside. It's going to be 2-1 for Brady Powell.
And let me quickly correct myself. Of course, Danny Orr leads in RBIs. Powell in a close second.
The 2 All-Stars doing the driving in for this Giants squad. And the runners take off. Powell chopped that right to the pitcher. Thomas decides to play it easy and take Powell off at first. Not before Houghton Henley and Ruiz-Weiss with a great jump got to second and third.
Powell basically laid down a bunt there and did his job. That's the Giants. The Giants coaching staff is not going to be mad with that ground out. You just move 2 of your faster guys in the scoring position, and that's the first out of the inning.
And you mentioned Powell is second in RBIs. Well, here's the first guy, the gloveless wonder, Danny Orr.
Danny Orr has been on a cooler since his first 2 at-bats. Started off with a double and single, popped out the last 2.
He watches ball one. It was originally dropped by Ellis, but no damage done by Houghton Henley and Ruiz Weiss. You know, with 2 base runners, I'm dealing with 4 last names, Jake. Those are 2 fast guys and hard to talk about sometimes. Orr sets. He's hoping to extend this lead. He watches that ball. It's 2-0. There is a spot for Orr. First base is open.
If he makes that tricky, if it's another ground ball, all infielders will check Weiss at second and Henley at third before throwing.
Be interesting how the base runners play that. Mentioned 2 smart, 2 fast guys. We'll see how they go. Orr fouls this one into the net. Also 2 former high school teammates, Ruiz, Weiss, and Houghton Henley. So I think they're on the same wavelength.
Yes. Very successful team. They actually finished 4th in the nation this past season. So Weiss not on the team, but a long history, successful history that is for that St. John's College Prep High School.
Wonder how the conversations go with Evan Serentani, Gonzaga guy. He won the WCAC championship against St. John's his junior year, and then the cadets, the 2 guys on base, got it in Serentani's senior year. He'll be a junior at Denison, a guy out of the bullpen for Gaithersburg. Orr sets for the 2-2 now. Again, fouled into the netting, so this at-bat stays alive.
Yeah, Orr doing what he needs to get done. We've talked about how the Giants, ever since that 3rd inning, have struggled to score runners on 2nd and 3rd, and they're in a great opportunity here with only 1 out and 2 runners in scoring position.
The sacrifice opportunity is alive for Orr. 1 out. Thomas delivers. Again into the netting for Orr, so this is a battle at the plate.
Yeah, Orr's had that same foul ball about 3 times, that upper part of the net here on the first base line.
The battle continues. Thomas facing Orr. It's 2-2. 2 in scoring position. Slider can't quite find the zone towards the end. It was tailing and trailing back. Not enough in time. The count goes full.
That one coming in at 69. The most variety we've seen from any pitchers today from A.J. Thomas. He's reaching speeds of high 80s, then goes all the way down to high 60s.
Orr sets. Watches that one into the dirt. There's a base open for him, and he'll head to it.
I mean, that was a great at-bat for Danny Orr. 3 or 4 foul balls in a row from him. Just a great fight. Comes out on top and loads the bases for the 3rd time this game.
And this will warrant a meeting with A.J. Thomas from his pitching coach and his catcher, Aiden Ellis. So, Jake, the bases go loaded. Gaithersburg has left it stranded like that in 2 previous innings. What do they need to do differently here?
In these situations, I'd call Gaithersburg 0 for 2. Definitely have not executed the way you need to, but you got Andrew Collin coming up, and he was one of the batters in those bases loaded situation, but there's maybe one other guy you'd want up in this situation, and he's at first base right now. So Giants are in a very, very strong situation with Holub at the plate.
Holub is their designated hitter tonight. He comes up with only 1 out. Last time bases were loaded, it was 2, so a little bit more room to work with.
Yeah, you mentioned the sac fly, obviously in play for the Giants. Brady Powell had 3 of those against the Metro South County Braves a few nights ago. And I believe he had another one against the T-Bolts. So, I mean, he's been that guy. We'll see if Holub is. Of course, he would rather have a base knock.
Well, Holub watches strike 1, doesn't see the stuff he likes. He reached base via walk last time around, so a power guy trying to put his bat behind it this time. Watches strike 2. That one tailed on the inside of the zone. Holub not happy with the call.
And not happy, but now Holub's got to fight.
I'm not going to tell him where that tacked on our track, man, because I don't think he'd be too happy with it. He gets his bat behind this one. This is into right field. Rivera's there to make the grab. It's a tag up from Ruiz-Weiss and Houghton Henley. No play is going to be made. Ruiz-Weiss safely makes it home. Houghton Henley finds himself on third. So Holub gets the sacrifice.
Yeah, as you mentioned, of course, Holub, wants a home run, a bases clearing, or double, but you can't be mad at a sac fly there. You did your job. You made contact with the ball and you hit it far enough for a run to score, and the Giants extend their lead to 4.
So Thomas lets up the 1-run sac fly.
That's the second time Holub has been at bat, put the ball in play, was out but got an RBI out of it. He didn't have a sac fly. He grounded out and allowed a run to come in. So it's a 2 RBI day for him without a hit.
Well, Bryce Rudisell steps up. He had a home run earlier this game. He watches strike 1. He gets into the 1-1 count. The man out of Mount St. Mary's. Currently, the winning run comes off that home run on his bat. Fouls that one into the fence for the 1-2. Glad our camera stayed in place, Jake.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, especially you, a lot of work was put into keeping that camera where it is. Glad to see we've done a good job.
Rudisill. Readies. Watches that one. It's a ball into the dirt. Well handled by Ellis. A pass by pitch would most likely lead to a run scoring, as it's the speedy Houghton Henley on third base, 90 feet away from making it 6-2. Sorry, it's currently 6-2, making it 7-2. Swing and a miss there from Rudisill. There's the punch out. There's the end of the inning. 90 feet, 6, 7 runs. It doesn't matter. The inning is over. End of the 8th. End of the top of the 8th. The Grays will be up to bat next. I know it's a little confusing that we're in Gaithersburg, but it's a home game for the Grays, weather and such craziness in the DMV. Stay tuned with us. We're back here in Gaithersburg. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Giants have made a call to the bullpen. It's going to be Jacob Goldman, sophomore out of East Florida State, taking the mound.
Yeah, he has an 11.57 ERA. Actually, I'm not going to believe that some of the stats on this Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League site aren't the most accurate. However, Goldman does have 2 appearances, no starts. He's got 2 1/3 innings pitched, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks for the kid.
Goldman gets set. The first batter he'll face, it's another substitution. Sorry, not another substitution. It's Andy Rivera. I lost track of my lineup card there. Andy Rivera heads to the plate.
Rivera started off strong with an RBI double, then followed out with a strikeout and pop-up. So his strikeout count went from 21 to 22, still leading the team.
First pitch ball from Goldman. And Goldman's going to have a meeting with his man Ethan McNally, as well as the umpire, real quick after only 1 pitch thrown.
I don't know if umpires do this to make sure the meeting goes quickly or if there's stuff catchers and pitchers can and cannot say to each other, but you've seen that a lot where the umpire is closely behind the catcher as it comes up.
I wonder if he's ever watching out for the foreign substances. They're always checking the pitchers for that. They check them in and out of the inning, but what if the catcher brought some spider tack up to the mound?
I think that's a great guess.
That would be crazy if that was that was the case. They were sneaking spider tack in their mound visits. 1 ball, 1 pitch thrown from Goldman. Rivera puts his bat behind this one. Rudisill's calling for it. Now he makes the catch. And just like that, Rivera will be out. That was in the air for a really long time.
Yeah, and you talk about a long time. It took a long time for Rudisill to call that ball in. I mean, those ones that are straight up, as you can be taught a million times that it's not going to go straight up and straight down with the spin on the ball. It's going to fall back a little more. But you see Rudisill almost overrun it, still makes the grab for out number 1.
And it could have been any of Powell, McNally, or Rudisill, as Goldman went to cover first. Finds the zone with this pitch against Luke Cauchi.
Cauchi popped out in his first at-bat, so he is 0 for 1 on the day. Cauchi batting .216 on the season. He's got 10 RBIs.
Swing and a miss there from Cauchi. Jake, I like to play this game with our other broadcaster, David. First time with you. Cauchi goes to Lafayette College. Do you know Lafayette's mascot?
It's some type of leopard, cheetah, or I know what the logo looks like. Couldn't tell you the animal.
You had it right on the first guess there. The Lafayette Leopards, a little alliteration there. So you're better than David. David's 0 for 2 on Guess the Mascots.
I don't know why I said cheetah. I should have stuck with leopard. I knew what it looked like, though.
It's a 1-2 count for the leopard in the box. My brother played lacrosse at Lafayette, so I grew up a big leopard fan. Always had the print and the logo.
I applied there. I got in, thought about it for a second, decided on Elon University.
Wide pitch there from Goldman, and the leopard finds himself in a 2-2 count now.
See that ball coming very close to our camera. We have apologized that it's slightly knocked out third base. You're able to see third baseman Adazino still.
This one is off the bat of Cauchi, high into left field. Will Maxey get there in time? And that goes foul before any Giant has a chance on that one.
That one left the bat quickly, however, far foul.
So everyone will have to go back to their spots. The entire left side of the field went running for that one. Hence, Maxey and Orr all found themselves trying to track that ball down. Now Goldman finds the zone for strike 3. His first punch out and the second out of the inning.
Yeah, we saw some speed from Goldman there, the mid to high 80s. However, that the punch-out pitch of the week has been this low and outside off speed. That one coming in at 74 has Couchy looking.
Couchy's followed up by Ryan Song. Moved over to short since this game has started. Began on third. He watches ball 1.
Yeah, as with all the praises we've sung about Song this season, he hasn't shown a lot of his production tonight.
We mentioned that he got a 4-pitch walk. That ups the on-base percentage, but not the prettiest way. 2-0 now. Goldman looking to not give him a second 4-pitch walk. We'll see what Song decides to dial up in the box. Puts his bat behind that one. Right to Hentz. Will the throw be there? It was high over Rudisill's head. McNally wasn't there to cover it yet, but because Song ran through the bag, he won't advance any further.
And, that's just unfortunate. And I was ready to talk about Cade Hentz has been so strong at shortstop since coming in halfway through the season. That throw just got a little away from him there. So, we're far away from this 2-out rally leading to any runs for the Grays. But, you hate to see a situation where the out is so close and you just miss it.
Certainly one Hentz would like to have back. Lucky that Song didn't reach an extra base with the throw. Giants need one more out. Noel Rivera is in the box. High pitch there from Goldman. Ball 1. Mentioned they're still far away from a 2-out rally. The tying run far into the dugout as it stands. Swing and a miss there from Noel Rivera. The Grays have work to do. They're only working with 4 more outs as they need 4 runs to tie it.
Rivera, another guy who started off strong. He started off with a double. Hasn't produced since at the plate.
Goldman sets now, winds up. Swing. And it was a miss, but a drop from McNally. Wasn't sure if he had tipped that or not. It appeared as Song, he took off for a second, maybe trying to get a runner call and mess up Goldman in his delivery, but the man on the mound doesn't get rattled.
Yeah, Song a little disappointed with himself. Didn't see McNally drop the ball, and if he did, he was already heading back to first base. So missed opportunity for our now shortstop.
This time he takes off. That ball's off the bat of Rivera. Hentz is going to have a chance to redo the play. This time it happens. He gets the out. A mistake made earlier makes up for it one time around.
Yeah, you love to see players get that second opportunity. Happened early to Michael Contigliano at second base. That's the last time I've seen a player make an error and quickly make up for it. This time it's Cade Hentz on a flashy throw to first base, and the lead remains the score remains 6-2 for the Giants.
And the Giants look to add a little insurance as they come up to bat. And this game heads to the 9th inning on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. It's the 9th inning, and we're back here in Gaithersburg. Collin Smith alongside Jake Tseronis on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network. The Giants playing as an away team in Gaithersburg tonight due to weather conditions at the Grace Field. So, top of the 9th, Ethan McNally steps to the plate, looks to add some insurance to the current 4-run lead that they hold. A.J. Thomas remains on the mound for the Grays.
Yeah, you mentioned this, the Giants only 3 outs away from ending this game. After this inning, they have been on, it's a little weird with, we talked about it on a break, but the last game the Giants played, it was against the Thunderbolts, and we get to the bottom of the 9th inning, and due to county rules, we were not able to play. They are up by 2, and if they win that game, and if they do go along to win this game, they will be on a 4-game win streak. They are still 14.5 games out of first as it stands. However, they don't need to be in first place to make the playoffs. So starting to turn it up when it matters. And the Grays, however, stand 13-12 coming into today. The South Division, the division the Giants are not in, is very close. They're 13-12. They're only out of first by 1 game. The top 2 teams have 14 wins. Currently leading by tiebreakers is the Senators. So both teams got a lot on the line today. Giants in that do-or-die mode, and the Grays playing for better seeding.
That's a high foul ball from McNally. He continues to fight the 2-2. And, Jake, as the weather gets hot in July, the Giants have, too. You mentioned the sort of 3-game win streak. They still got 3 outs to make it official. And Silver Spring will pick that game up eventually next time the T-Bolts and Giants square off, but looking to officially make it 3-game win streak here tonight. That ball's to the outside. Good eye from McNally to let the count go full.
McNally is 1 for 4 today. His 1 hit is a single. It's in his 3rd at-bat.
Thomas finds the zone with the count full. He's got the first out needed. He's looking to keep this lead for the Giants at bay and give his team a chance when they come up at the bottom of the 9th. Now, it's Cade Hentz. We talked about he made a defensive mistake, made up for it a play later with the same throw. Now he looks to even do more making up with his bat.
You talk about making up. Cade Hentz stands 0 for 4, reached base in his first at-bat. They reached on error, so not too much action from him at the plate today.
A.J. Thomas still on the mound. Has the 1-0 against Hentz. Good crack of the bat from Hentz here. He's got Andy Rivera backpedaling in right field. They're in time to make the grab.
Andy Rivera's made that play, that same exact play, about 3 times today. As I mentioned, he's been very active out in right field. However, not too much work to get over to that baseball.
We've talked about the 2-out rallies. It's going to be Ryan Maxey, the 3rd baseman, who hopes to get that started for the Giants. As it stands, Giants only need 3 more outs to end this one. Sure, Maxey would like to keep the offense out there as long as possible.
Yeah, Maxey's 1 hit tonight is with 2 outs. He is currently 1 for 3. He's got 2 strikeouts, a base knock, and a walk. As I mentioned, with his batting average not the best, that was an on-base percentage of .339, so he's doing even better today as he's been on base half of his at-bats.
Thomas sets now. Maxey puts his bat behind this one, backpedaling his song. He calls that he has it. Never mind, he waves off. It's a diving catch. And it is Song who made the catch. Sorry, it was Adonisio who waved Song off and waved it off, and then Song makes the diving effort to retire the side. So, Jake, no run score for the Giants. Barely anybody gets to the plate. And the Grays have some work to do in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, the Grays have not scored a run since the 2nd inning, so it's going to take a lot. The Giants pitching staff has been doing fantastic night from McCabe, Simpson, and Goldman. So it's going to take a lot. However, the Giants cannot take their foot off the gas pedal at this point in the game. As I mentioned, every win is crucial, and every loss is even more crucial as they're on their last life at the postseason.
Well, Jacob Goldman is going to step back out there. He needs 3 outs to keep the Giants breathing and end this one. We'll step away. Stay with us for the final 3. We are back here in Gaithersburg. What could be the final inning. It's the bottom of the 9th. That's right, DC's up to bat in the bottom of the 9th at Criswell Automotive Field. It's a wacky Thursday for Jake and I and the whole crew. We've got a different stats crew, different TrackMan crew. The teams are in the home and away dugouts, even though they're not the right home and away teams. It's all over the place. It is still Goldman. He delivers ball 1.
It's currently Ryan Grace up to bat. Grace got a base knock in his first time up. One of the newer faces we've seen in this game.
Grace puts this one up into play. Rudisil and Powell are both there. Rudisil waves that he has it, and he does indeed. And just like that, Rudy, from we hear from the dugout, gets the first out. Giants are 2 away.
Rudisil again took a little bit too long to get under that baseball. Had some trouble seeing it, but I'm gonna share some tough stories. I played on this field myself at night, and out in the outfield had a pop fly hit to me. Totally hit off my glove into my face. You know, it's tough with the dark sky, the high pop flies. Rudisil able to hold on to that one.
It's nothing easy to catch that out of the light. I can't even imagine. It probably disappears for a few seconds while it's high. And then, luckily, Rudisil able to track it down.
So now Aiden Ellis stepping up. Ellis, the amount of times I mentioned his batting average, and he continues to get a hit, has been twice today. He got an RBI single, and then 2 at-bats later got a regular single, but he has helped his batting average of .53 out a lot tonight. Jacob Goldman up now. Only 1 strikeout so far. However, has been very successful in his short outing. Looking to close it out for the Giants.
This is actually going to be a pinch hitter for DC. It's going to be Sam Mosman, number 27. He's listed as a pitcher, so we have a bit of a Shohei Ohtani situation at the plate.
Yeah, the freshman from NYU. Apologize for confusing him with Aiden Ellis.
Swing and a miss there. Well, he's got the red helmet on, so I can see why you'd think he's still the Scarlet Knight. Despite going to go to NYU, wears purple and white. He is in a 1-2 count now. Goldman remains on the bump for Gaithersburg. He finds the strike there, and that's the third one. It's a punch out for the second out. 1 out away is Gaithersburg from officially having a 3-game win streak.
And it's, just Jacob Goldman coming out here and dealing again. That's his second strikeout. This time he went down looking, and he is 1 more out away from the Giants' 3rd win in this right now 2-game win streak.
TJ Adenozio steps into the plate. He fouls the first one off. We keep talking about the officially 3-game win streak, the 2-game win streak. They are up on the T-Bolts, headed to the bottom of the 9th. That had to be paused due to time restrictions at Blair High School. So Giants have a 2-run lead in the bottom of the ninth against the T-Bolts, so not quite a win, but close to it. See how that one plays out when we pick back up eventually. And that is a ball to the left side of the plate. 1-1 is the count for Adonisio. Jacob Goldman looks to close the door on the district. Can't find the zone with that pitch. Two 2-1 as it stands. The Giants need one more out. Will it be Adonisio? He puts this one high onto the left side. Maxie's running under it, but it's too far foul for any play to be made. 2-2 is the count.
Yeah, it's about the one blind spot in this field that me and Collin have. We heard a big it's out from who I believe was Danny Orr. So you could tell Ryan Maxie was really going after that ball.
You mentioned the blind spot. We have a tree, a pole, a post, and a fence all in our way from that spot of the field. From the broadcast booth here in Gaithersburg. One pitch away is Goldman. This one off the bat of Adonisio running under it. It's going to have to be Ruiz-Weiss. They're saying he doesn't make the catch. Jake, that was close to being the third out.
I mean, that was a great effort from Weiss. You know, I do think it hit his glove from where we are, but he was coming in fast for that ball. Full extension. Of course, not able to hold on to it. So the Grays have a little bit of life. However, still a long way to go for them.
It's going to take a long 2-out rally for the Grays. Goldman looks to end it here. He delivers ball one to Tyler Wiltsley.
Now, that was the first hit Goldman gave up. Again, I don't think that will be marked as an error on Weiss, as he made a great effort on it. Shows how well Goldman's been pitching.
Wiltsley swings and a miss here. He was the first DC Gray to cross home plate and get the first run here tonight. He's hoping to cross again and be a part of a rally. It's going to take a lot. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Delivers here. That's a high ball. Goldman looking to get to the end of this.
Let's see, he hasn't had a hit since his double that put him on base to be scored. It's a fielder's choice.
Tipped foul there. Wiltsey chased after that. That was far out of the zone.
Let's get some claps from both dugouts.
A fight and a battle in the box. Gaithersburg once again, one pitch away. Claps going in the stands. Goldman sets to deliver to Wiltsey. He wants to put this one on ice. Does he do it here? Puts that one into the dirt. Not quite ice. Instead, the count goes full.
Goldman still has a chance to end the night on this at-bat.
Goldman sets. He's facing the full count with Wiltsey. Delivers this one. It's ball 4, much to the dismay of the Gaithersburg dugout and fans.
Yeah, unfortunate. That was a close one. And also full count. You know, it's just a lot going on in this at-bat. And, you know, the Grays got 2 guys on now. This is what I'm talking about, when I said the Giants can't take their foot off the gas. Of course, the Grays have not yet scored a run and have 2 outs, but you just want to end this game as soon as you can if you're the Giants.
Tanner Wolpert steps to the plate. This one high off his bat and foul into the net. Ends up, wow, that was hit hard off the net. It landed all the way next to third base and in play if we were playing the net.
Wolpert, another guy who got a hit in his first at-bat and hasn't since. He's got a base knock and 3 pop-outs.
And sneakily, the DC Grays have got the tying run to the on-deck circle. Wolpert looks to keep his team fighting now. Goldman delivers. This is off the bat of Wolpert. That's going to reach right field. McNally's going to call for it at 4. Reese Weiss is going to have a throw attempt. And he got it there in time. A good call from McNally. No aggressive base running from the Grays as they're going to load the bases.
Yeah, it was a nice throw from Weiss to get it in there. McNally had some trouble fielding it, so if the runner at third were able to take off for home, I believe he would have scored. And, as you mentioned now, I don't want to say it, but a grand slam ties this game up.
And an interesting situation, one that manager TJ Brockway doesn't like to find himself in with bases loaded. Bottom of the ninth, at his own field, he has to defend in the bottom of the ninth. That's an interesting scenario to game plan for, but Andy Rivera is going to head to the box, and he's the tying run, and he's at the plate dealing with 2 outs.
Yeah, the Giants have actually been on the other side of this story. These too little, too late situations. The bottom of the ninth, they got runners on all bases, and they've fallen short. So now they're playing defense here. Resilience is a big word that I've used, especially in their last game against the T-Wolves when they came back. They got to show some more of that resilience here and end this game.
I've seen games where the Giants had the tying run left on third in the bottom of the ninth. Like you mentioned, they're trying to do the opposite and leave the tying run out there. Goldman remains after the meeting with the infield. Delivers ball 1-2. Andy Rivera.
Rivera also 1 for 4 this game, similar to Wolpert and Whitsey. However, both of those guys got on base in their 5th at-bats.
There's the zone for Goldman.
At this late, every strike is getting claps from the Giants dugout as they are just 1/3 closer to ending this game.
They've seen multiple 2-strike counts, yet to get the elusive third out. This one's put to the outside of the zone on Andy Rivera. And it's been a story of Gaithersburg season. They've been very close at times. Here they have the upper hand. They can't surrender it. Goldman sets. Bases are loaded. Rivera puts this one off his bat. It's deep left field, curves foul. We heard the oohs and ahs of the Grays dugout there, Jake. That was a hard hit ball.
Yeah, that one, Rivera was much too early on it. However, a lot of noise from the Grays side, and the Giants side of this field remained silent as that ball tailed foul. But another 2-strike situation for Jacob Goldman, his chance for his 3rd strikeout and the 3rd win in this Giants win streak.
Trip around the bases. It's Grace on 3rd. It's Wiltsey on 2nd. It's Wolpert on 1st. Rivera at the plate. He watches this ball. It's a passed ball, but the Giants get there in time. The Grays decide not to send a base runner. Really interesting there from Ryan Grace, the pinch hitter out of Lafayette on 3rd. That's 2 times that he probably could have gone home and hasn't.
Yeah, I guess, either he's just kind of not really paying attention out there, but I can also see his third base coach being like, hey, there's 2 outs. If there's a hit, we know you're going to score. No reason to risk it.
Again, apologies for our camera getting knocked ajar. I'm not going to go fix it as we're only 1 strike away. We'll keep you updated with what's happening over on the 3rd bag. The count is full. That is fouled and tipped off. Again, I think Andy Rivera just wants to knock our camera away, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, especially with full count here, you see all base runners leaving as soon as the pitch goes. If Rivera puts one in play, I see at least 2 runs coming in for the Grays, maybe even 3.
And since those base runners are moving, Grace would eventually pass on a pitch that goes wild to be ball 4 and walk him in. Goldman delivers again, fought foul from Andy Rivera. Jake, this has been an absolute battle in the batter's box.
I mean, that was a great pitch from Goldman. Better from Andy Rivera, though, to foul it off and keeping him alive, making it tough for Goldman. You can only throw so many strikes in a row. It's just how the position is. Let's see if he's got one more in him.
Rivera looks to tie it. Goldman wants to put away. He doesn't get it. He's going to walk in a run. We hear from the Grays first base coach, extend him. This is going to be a second meeting from manager TJ Brockway, which means it's going to be the end of Goldman's night. And Jake, this game has gotten into a sticky situation very quickly.
Yeah, it's tough. Goldman, is dishing it out. He was having a great outing until this bottom of the ninth, and it was just unfortunate, not really his fault. I believe he had 1 walk this inning, but that was it. The Grays were putting balls in play, and right there, it was his second walk right here, Goldman to Rivera, but Rivera was fighting off. I mean, of course, not the ending he wanted, but he did get the first 2 outs. And now the Giants looking for this last one with support of their relief.
It's going to be Shane Murphy that comes out of the bullpen for the Giants. And Jake, it's been really the story of the Giants season. So close yet so far on many moments. There's been 1-run games. There's been tying runs on bases. There's been just mishaps in the bullpen. Then when the bullpen gets active, not getting the bats active, it seems like the Giants have finally found their stride and gotten hot, and this would be huge to come out of this.
I mean, yeah, going into this game, their record stands at 7-21. So, as well as they have played as of recent, they've dug themselves into a hole, and they are in the process of getting themselves out of it. But as I mentioned, they don't have room for error. They don't have room for that one bad loss at the end of the season, or one just game where they're not on. They have to be on at all times and be ready to win every single game as this season comes to it. And then Goldman's a good guy to put in looking for this last out. Goldman's got an ERA of 1.74, 10 1/3 innings pitched. He has 11 strikeouts, only 6 hits. Played against the Grays twice, the first time on June 23rd, second on June 29th. He pitched 5 innings against them in those 2 games, allowed 3 runs, all of those coming on the June 29th appearance. So, the Grays have seen him before, and of course, Murphy has seen the Grays, but, the numbers say this is the right guy to put in.
And the first guy he'll face, and realistically, the potential only guy he'll face will be Luke Cauchi. We saw him come off the bench here tonight. He wasn't in the starting lineup, but an effective player for this DC team. He steps to the plate. He's the winning run. Ethan McNally is going to take a few more minutes to talk with this guy, Shane Murphy, before heading back to behind the dish. Murphy needs 1 out. The bases are loaded. A quick trip around them. It's Rivera on first, Wolpert on second, and Wiltsey on third. This one's a high fly ball. Calling for it's the middle infield. Hentz is there. He makes the catch. Everybody holding their breath at Criswell Automotive. It only took 1 pitch for Shane Murphy to retire this game.
Yeah, Shane Murphy, the quickest outing of his life, gets the job done there, and a great win from the Giants. As I mentioned, Giants are usually in the Grays situation this season. This time, They get a little taste of their own medicine. Nevertheless, they come out on top, extend their win streak to 3. And as we mentioned before, 3 outs away from extending that to 4. Of course, we do not know when this last half inning will be made up, but the Giants stay hot.
I think Shane Murphy will need to ice his shoulder after that one pitch. Trackman didn't even get the speed, so we don't know how hard he was throwing. But what a way to end, Jake.
Yeah, it's another great game from the Giants, of course. You know, they've been putting up lots and lots of runs. So 6 runs in these past 4 games seems like not that many, but you can't mercy rule every team in the 7th in this league especially. So great all around from the guys, especially starting pitcher Sean McCabe. 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 4 hits allowed. Of course, 2 of their 3 runs came when he was in. But when you're pitching that long, you're bound to give up 1 run, and he sure got many more outs than the 2 runs he gave up.
No short of excitement in Gaithersburg at Criswell Automotive Field, regardless if the Giants are home or away playing at their stadium. And that's going to be it from Collin Smith and Jake Tseronis. The Gaithersburg Giants officially on a 3-game win streak with the 6-3 victory over the DC Grays. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here tomorrow in Gaithersburg. Jake and I again on the call. So stay tuned all season on the Gaithersburg Giants Broadcast Network.